The first spark deep in Sector 19, a small Terran mining station floated silently near a cold, forgotten star. The outpost was simple. Only a few robots worked there, gathering rare metals from drifting rocks. No humans were present. No ships. Visited often. It was quiet, but something changed. An alien fleet known as the Dovari crossed the border of Terran space. Their scanners saw the mining station. No defenses, no signals, just silence. They laughed. "Humans are gone," one Dovari captain said. "Let's take what we want." The fleet of 15 ships surrounded the station. With one strong pulse, they destroyed it. The fireball was bright but short. The robots inside never stood a chance. Debris floated into the dark. No alarm was triggered. No humans called back. They thought Earth didn't care anymore. But they were wrong. Far across the stars, in a forgotten Terran command vault buried beneath a dead moon, an old machine woke up. Its red eye blinked once, then again. It started scanning signals, pulling in the last moment of the destroyed station. The machine was called Watcher Unit 7. It hadn't activated in 300 years. Its task was clear: watch for attacks on Terran space and remember every detail. And now it had something to remember. The Dovari fleet moved forward. They attacked 2 more outposts, stealing data and minerals. Again, no reply from Earth, no retaliation, no warnings. But strange things started happening. Their ships picked up static, random signals filled with unknown code. Sometimes it sounded like whispers. Other times it looked like old Earth images. One crew saw a human face flash across their monitor, eyes closed, mouth whispering, "We see you." They thought it was a glitch. They were wrong again. Back on the Dovari homeworld, the High Council met. They received reports of the successful raids. "Humans are weak," one elder said. "Their silence proves it." But one scientist disagreed. She had studied Terran wars. She knew stories. "They don't strike fast," she warned. "They wait, they listen, and when they strike, it's too late to run." Her warning was ignored. Days later, something strange happened. The Dovari fleet lost one ship. No battle. No explosion. It just vanished from their formation during a routine patrol near a gas giant. They scanned the area. Nothing. Then, a message appeared on all screens. Just one sentence. "We remember the first spark." Panic grew. The commander tried to order a retreat, but communication was cut. Their own systems were jammed. One by one, their screens turned black. That same human face appeared again, eyes open now. Watching. On Earth, deep below the Atlantic Ocean, another vault opened. A dark warship, one older than any living human, powered up. Its AI had waited patiently. Its name was Echo 1. It carried no crew, only purpose. Echo 1 left the ocean, flying silently through clouds, entering orbit, no broadcast, no flag, just cold, perfect silence. Across the stars, other hidden Terran warships began to rise, some from moons, some from asteroids, some from under alien planets themselves. They had been placed long ago, during the final days of Earth's last war. Each one had only one rule: do not respond unless they strike first. And now, the first spark had been lit. The galaxy didn't know yet. But the storm was coming. Earth never forgot. And Earth never forgave. The Dovari ship Shadara drifted quietly near a dying star. The crew was nervous. Their scanners kept failing. Shadows moved across their radar, but nothing was there. They couldn't see what was coming. Captain Varn stood on the bridge. He stared into the dark space ahead. The stars looked different, colder. Something had changed since they attacked that first Terran outpost. But he didn't believe in ghosts. Until now. "Sir," the navigator said, "we lost contact with another ship, the Velok." "Same way as before?" the captain asked. "Yes, sir. 1 second it was there. The next, gone. No explosion, no trace. Suddenly the lights on the bridge flickered. Then they went out. For 6 full seconds the ship was silent and dark. When the lights came back, a message was waiting. Glowing red letters across every screen. "We are coming. Panic broke out among the crew, officers yelled, scanners spun wildly, but nothing showed up on the radar. "Full shields!" the captain shouted. But it was too late. Above them, something moved. Something massive. Not on radar. Not making sound. It hovered like a shadow with sharp edges and glowing red veins across its black hull. The crew didn't see it until the warship's power core lit up like a red eye. Then, one by one, Dovari ships began to disappear. No missiles, no beams, no fight. They just blinked out of existence as if swallowed by the void. Back on the Dovari homeworld, the scientist who warned them watched the reports in horror. "They're using stealth ships," someone said. "No," she whispered. "They're using ancient war AI. Machines built to fight without mercy. Humans made them to survive, even after humans were gone." "Impossible," another said. "Humans can't control machines that old." She turned to him. "They're not controlling it. They woke it up." Meanwhile, Echo 1 floated in the outer rim. It didn't speak. It didn't flash lights or send warnings. It just listened. It had intercepted the Dovari command signal. It knew their fleet size, their base locations, and their weaknesses. The ship's mind, a cold old Terran war AI, processed billions of strategies in seconds. It chose the most efficient one. Strike from the shadows. Leave one alive. Let them spread fear. On board the last surviving ship, the Morvek, the crew watched as their allies vanished. One of them tried to scream for help, but the comms were dead. Then, without warning, something slammed into the side of their ship. Metal tore. Alarms howled. A black shape with claws made of light ripped through their hull and disappeared just as fast. The ship began to break apart. Just before the captain lost consciousness, he saw one last message on the main screen. Not written. Spoken. A human voice. "Cold, steady. You were warned." The message reached every major race in the galaxy. No one believed it at first. They thought it was a scare tactic. A hoax. But then, Dovari colonies went silent. Trade stations near Earth's old sectors started losing contact. And worse, black ships were spotted floating silently near stars. No ID, no signals, just watching, waiting. Now the Council had a decision to make. Would they speak against Earth again? Or stay silent and hope the ghosts stayed buried? But it was too late for silence, because Earth had already heard them, and Earth never forgot. The great Galactic Council chamber was silent. That never happened. Representatives from over 100 species, normally loud, proud, and full of words, sat frozen, not because of respect, but because of fear. In the center of the chamber, a giant holoscreen replayed the last broadcast from the Dovari fleet. Static, screams, and one final sentence. "You were warned." The human voice echoed through the grand chamber. Deep, calm, final. A representative from the Kralin Alliance stood, his eyes wide. This is a trick. A human trick. They are extinct. They were hunted down centuries ago. A soft voice cut through the chamber. Cold, sharp. "No," said the Alari ambassador. "We tried to hunt them, but we never found their home world, only ruins. And signals. We assumed they were finished." She looked around the room. "We were wrong." The Council's leader, High Speaker Rovan, slammed his staff. "Enough. We must not panic. Perhaps it is a rogue AI. Perhaps not even human." But, as he spoke, the chamber's lights dimmed. Then the Council's own systems, shielded and isolated, received a message, a short video, from space. A black Terran warship hovered above a sun, casting a shadow across it. Its hull was covered in glowing red marks, ancient writing, Terran runes. One symbol blinked on every screen. Punishment. Panic exploded. Species that had once mocked Earth now shouted for emergency meetings. One race, the Trivac, demanded Earth be found and destroyed immediately. Another, the Vortian, wanted peace talks. But a third voice spoke louder than all. "Mind Terran ship's AI. From deep space, a new signal entered the chamber. It wasn't a warning. It was a statement. This council judged Earth long ago. You exiled them, hunted them. Now, your sentence is returned. You will answer. The signal ended. Then something worse happened. Ships near the council's homeworld vanished. No sound, no weapons, just black shadows in the stars, and then silence. Back on Earth, deep beneath old mountains, the true minds behind the awakening watched silently. They had waited a long time. The galaxy forgot them. That was the mistake. Now their war fleet, once hidden, once silent, was rising from dead moons, from frozen orbits, from forgotten stations buried in gas giants. Hundreds of black ships older than the Empire itself now moved as one. Their only command: remember and return the judgment. One council spy, desperate for answers, hacked into an old Earth archive. What he found chilled him. The final record from the old Earth Defense Fleet. In the event of extinction, do not resist. Do not rebuild. Do not forgive. Let the galaxy forget, then rise, and remind them why we were feared. He backed away from the terminal, trembling. I think we woke something we can't stop. The black ship moved without sound. No flame. No trail. Just presence. It drifted through the star system like a shadow with purpose. One council scout ship tried to follow it. The scout vanished 5 seconds after locking its sensors. No explosion. No call for help, just gone. On board a mining moon near the council's border, workers saw the dark figure in the sky. One whispered, "That's not a ship. That's a ghost." But it was no ghost. It was Terran. Across the stars, military channels, burned with fear. The council tried to hide it, but word spread fast. A human ship had reappeared. Not just reappeared. It was undetectable, undefeatable, and unafraid. The last broadcast from the Trivac border fleet echoed everywhere now. Shield's not responding. It's inside our perimeter. How did it pass us? Wait, it's charging something. What is the cut? Silence. 38 ships gone, no trace, just a message left behind. They spoke against Earth, now they listen. Inside the council chamber, chaos boiled. Some species demanded unconditional surrender. Others wanted to send every fleet to Earth, but no one knew where Earth was anymore. The location had been lost, deleted, hidden behind layers of forgotten history and misinformation. And now someone, something, was rewriting that history. Galactic star maps were changing. Every version updated itself. At the edge of the Orion Arm, a new red dot appeared. No name. Just one symbol. A burning world with black wings. On a small station orbiting a brown dwarf, an engineer found something strange. An old relay dish, long abandoned, began spinning. It pointed toward the galactic core. Transmission was coming through, slow, deep, powerful. A voice human. We waited. We endured. We remember. Now, it's your turn. The engineer stood in silence as the station lights flickered, then died. Moments later, the ship appeared outside. Black. Winged. Silent. And then everything was fire. Somewhere else in the galaxy. On a secret council moon built for evacuation, high-ranking officials gathered in fear. But their protection didn't matter. The Terran ship arrived anyway. No alarms were triggered. No defense systems fired, because the systems never saw it. The ship did not speak. It simply opened a hatch, and from it descended one object. A single old Terran flag, burned, scarred, but still whole, planted itself into the moon's surface. The message was clear. Judgment has no borders. Across the stars, beings trembled, because they realized something. Humans were never gone. They were just waiting. And now, they weren't sending diplomats. They were sending justice. The Empire's skies turned dark, but there were no clouds, no storms, just something above them, something massive. A silent shape hovered beyond their orbital defenses, Cameras tried to zoom in. Scanners failed. Radar showed nothing. But eyes saw it clearly. A Terran ship, ancient in design, new in power. Its black surface shimmered with strange lights. Red pulses moved through its body like veins. Energy throbbed at its center like a beating heart. Then, one word appeared across every screen on the planet. Remember. The Empire's top general stared at the word, cold sweat dripping from his neck. His second-in-command whispered, "Should we fire?" "No," the general said, voice shaking. "They're already inside." Inside? But the station was sealed. No ship had docked, and yet lights flickered. Doors hissed open without command. Footsteps echoed. Someone, or something, was walking the halls. The general drew his weapon, but even as he aimed it, the screen flashed. Again. "You heard Earth, you ran. Now we're here." Far across the galaxy, colonies that once helped destroy Earth's first defense posts were now in panic. One by one, they went dark, not from war, not from explosions, but from something worse. Silence. No messages, no escape pods, just silence. And above every darkened world, witnesses spoke of the same horror, a floating shadow with glowing wings, sometimes red, sometimes gold, but always watching. They said it moved without thrusters. They said it never spoke. They said if you ran, it followed. In the Empire's central world, the Emperor himself stood before the Grand Assembly. He tried to speak to calm the people. "They are just humans," he shouted. "They can't be everywhere." A technician rushed into the hall. He held a tablet, face pale. "Sir, they're everywhere." "What?" The technician turned the screen around. Thousands of signals. Thousands of identical ships. From edge to edge of the galaxy. "Impossible," whispered the Emperor. Then the lights went out. Above the central city, the sky cracked open. A giant Terran ship broke through space itself as if tearing a hole in the stars. It hovered, silent, godlike, terrible. Then a beam of light fell down, soft and white, like moonlight. And from that beam, shapes floated down. Not soldiers, not bombs, but black metal monoliths, each one planted into the ground with a thud, each one bearing the mark of Earth. "We came in peace. You answered in war. Now you will remember." In every city, panic erupted. Ships tried to escape. They exploded before leaving orbit. Cities tried to hide. Monoliths marked them instead. No deaths, no attacks, just fear, controlled, perfect fear. Humans weren't here to conquer. They were here to be remembered, and they would not be forgotten again. The Empire's capital city was frozen, not by weapons, but by terror. The strange black monoliths from the Terran ship stood in every major square motionless. No one could move them. No tools worked on them. The moment anyone came too close, they heard something. A voice. Not loud, not clear, just inside their heads. "You were warned." People began to whisper. Some prayed. Others tried to leave. But every ship that lifted off was gently pulled back by an unseen force. No crash, no fire, just stopped mid-air and lowered like a toy. Someone, or something, was controlling gravity itself. Deep in the Imperial military bunker, top minds gathered. "We're being watched," a scientist said. "There's no signal we can track, but I know they're reading everything we do." "They haven't attacked," said a general. "Exactly," the scientist replied. "Because they don't need to. They want us to break ourselves." Room fell silent. On the screen, more colonies were blinking red, cut off, surrounded, paralyzed. In orbit, the massive Terran ship slowly opened a section of its hull. But what emerged wasn't a weapon. It was a satellite, one made of black glass and silver steel. It floated quietly and broadcast only one message to every screen, every device, every mind. Forgiveness was never promised. Some Empire officials begged the Emperor to apologize. Others still believed they could fight. "Launch the Nova cores," one admiral screamed. "Let's burn their ghost fleet." "But we don't even know where they are," another said. "They don't fly like us. They appear, then vanish. They bend the rules of reality." Still, the order was given. The Empire's most powerful weapons, 30 planet-cracking Nova cores, were aimed at the void. They launched, each vanished mid-flight. Then they returned, flying back toward their launchers. Every station exploded. By their own hand. Across the galaxy, survivors told the same story. We tried to destroy them, and they turned our fire back on us. A single phrase began spreading across comms, etched onto screens by an unseen force. "You chose this." On the Empire's moon, hidden from public view, a group of alien scientists had once experimented on captured Terrans decades ago. That lab now stood in ruins. No battle, no signs of violence, just a single Terran handprint burned into the wall, glowing, pulsing red. And beneath it, the words, "Memory never fades." The truth hit hard. Humans hadn't just come to scare them. They came to show the cost of forgetting. The Emperor, once proud and defiant, now stood alone in the throne hall. Every advisor had gone silent. Messages no longer came in. Even the stars outside looked darker. And then, without warning, the hall lights flickered. The air became heavy. A sound echoed, slow footsteps. From the shadows, a figure emerged, not armored, not armed, just a lone human, eyes glowing faintly. "Calm. You spoke against Earth," the figure said. "And now, we answer." The Emperor stood frozen. The Terran stood still. No weapons, no soldiers, no warship in the sky. Just silence. But that silence carried more weight than 1,000 fleets. The chamber darkened as if the very stars outside had gone cold. The Terran's voice broke the silence. Calm, unshaken. "We didn't come to destroy your empire," the Terran said. "We came to end the disease that grew inside it." The Emperor finally spoke, his voice trembling. "You can't judge us. We are the law of this galaxy." The Terran stepped forward. "No," he whispered. "You were the loudest. That doesn't make you just." Behind him, a flicker of blue light filled the chamber. A massive hologram displayed faces. Alien species, broken and forgotten. Planets reduced to rubble. Voices silenced by centuries of the Empire's rule. "You didn't just threaten humans," the Terran said. "You ruled through fear. You erased lives. You believed no one would return." Then the Terran raised one hand. From the stars above, the great Terran ship activated, without firing a single weapon. Every Imperial computer system crashed. Every military command structure dissolved. Weapons stopped working. Shields went offline. Drones fell from the skies. And across every screen in the galaxy, a single sentence appeared. "The cycle is over. Let the stars breathe again." On distant colonies, people cheered. On war-torn moons, soldiers dropped their weapons. And inside the old Terran ship, deep within its ancient core, something faded to rest, its mission complete. Back in the Emperor's throne hall, the human spoke one last time. "We do not forgive," he said, "but we remember. And that memory now belongs to all." Then, in a quiet shimmer of light, the Terran vanished. No sound, no flash, only the echo of justice. The Empire didn't fall by fire, it fell by truth. And in the years that followed, no one dared rise to power by fear again, because every species remembered the same warning: don't fight the humans, they don't forget, and they never forgive.